There's nobody on earth that doesn't have a talent. There's nobody that does not have something that God has placed inside of you. If you cannot talk, you'll be able to sing. If you cannot sing, you'll be able to be creative. If you are not creative, you'll be able to dance. If you cannot dance, there'll be something inside of you that God has placed there, that when you do it, it separates you, it makes you unique. So at this point, I also want to say, please don't envy anybody. Don't envy anybody. Don't envy people that are working in their gift, calling, and assignment. It's because anybody you see doing, anybody you see shining, doing what God has called them to do, is because they are using their inborn talent, both inborn and acquired skills, to fulfill God's purpose for your life. Go and discover yours. Stop envying someone else. There's something God has placed inside of you. There's a skill set, there's an ability, there's a grace, there's a capacity that God has placed inside of you. Either inborn or you acquired it. And the earlier you discover that skill, that ability, the earlier you start to find your purpose. Because everything God placed inside of you is to achieve His purpose for your life. Every skill that God placed inside of you, every talent God placed inside of you, is to achieve God's purpose for your life. And that reminds me of the parable of the talent. He said there's a rich man. He gave 10 talents. He gave 5 talents. He gave 1 talent. He said the one with 10 talents, he multiplied it. The one with 5 talents, he multiplied it. The one with 1 talent buried it and they refused to do nothing with it. But do you know one thing about the 3 of them is that they all had a talent. The rich man gave them all a talent. Meaning that same thing applies to us. God has given every single person a talent. For some people, God gave them more than 1 talent. For some, He gave them 1 talent. For some, He gave you 2 talents. For some, He gave you 3 talents. For some, He gave you 5 talents. For some, He gave you more than 5. So, what are you doing with your talent? What are you doing with God's skills, the skills that God has given to you? Are you using it to serve God's purpose, or you buried your own talent? Remember, we will all stand to give account. Every one of us will stand before God to tell Him what we did with every talent, skill, and ability that He has given unto us. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. So, we said the number 5 point is by which we can discover our purpose. It's through our skills, our abilities, and talents. Go and find what God has placed inside of you and start to live your life in God's purpose and assignment with those skills and abilities.